And we welcome you back to Capitol Tonight. It is this year's hottest Democratic primary race. 5 candidates are duking it out to be their party's Attorney General nominee, each vying to replace Andrew Cuomo, who polls suggest is favored to be the state's next governor. Over the last 2 weeks, we've caught up with 4 of those candidates: Senator Eric Schneiderman, Assemblyman Richard Brodsky, Attorney Sean Coffey, and former Insurance Superintendent Eric Dinalo. On Saturday, Dinalo's campaign picked up some momentum when he won the Democratic Rural Conference straw poll. The show of support came as little surprise, as he entered the contest with the endorsement of 21 county chairs, but the second-place finisher took some by surprise. Nassau County District Attorney Kathleen Rice took home the number 2 slot in the straw poll 1 day before she planned to formally launch her bid for AG. She postponed that announcement after an unexploded car bomb was discovered in Times Square this weekend. Instead, Rice officially kicked off her campaign today, releasing this 5-minute web video introducing herself to voters across the state. Tonight, she's here to discuss more about her record and her campaign. Kathleen Rice joins us from New York City tonight. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
So you're in formally now. You've been traveling around the state and visiting people. You've been to the Capitol a couple of times when we've caught you there. It's no surprise, obviously, that you are running. And almost as soon as you got into the fray, you were hit, almost immediately, by a statement, a pretty harshly worded statement from Senator Eric Schneiderman's campaign. You put yourself out as a career prosecutor, and they questioned the criminal statistics, the crime statistics in Nassau County during your tenure. Do you have a response to that at this point?
Well, I am very proud of the record that I've established as the Nassau County District Attorney since I was first elected in 2005. I've been able to implement not only tough but smart on crime initiatives to address some of our more entrenched crime problems like drugs and gangs and guns. And my initiatives have kept Nassau County one of the safest counties of its size in the country. So I see these attacks as little more than just business as usual in a political season.
The statement that the Schneiderman campaign put out also noted that he is a, quote, lifelong progressive Democrat, which I take to be a bit of a sideswipe at you, reminding people who know, that is, that you have not always been an enrolled Democrat. You actually started out as a Republican. You spoke, interestingly, I thought, at the Democratic Rural Conference about being a Democrat in your heart. Can you expand on that? I mean, what exactly was it? You switched right before the DA's race in 2005. What caused you to make that switch?
Well, I grew up in Nassau County, and when I turned 18, my father took me down to the Board of Elections, as many parents did, and registered me as a Republican. If anyone knows any historical knowledge of Nassau County, is one of the last bastions of Republicanism, and that's what people did. You registered as a Republican. When in 1999, I became a federal prosecutor. I moved to Pennsylvania. I registered as an independent. And in 2005, when I came home to run for DA, I registered as what I was, which was a Democrat. And I have, in fact, been reelected the first time in 2005 and overwhelmingly last November as a Democrat. And I'm a proud Democrat. I am a pro-choice, pro-marriage equality, anti-death penalty, progressive, tough-on-crime Democrat. We still exist.
Even in Nassau County. Where
Nassau County.
Your re-election actually was a bright spot for the Democratic Party because there was a lot of losses there. Were you actually the only one who was re-elected in the countywide slate, the only Democrat?
I was the only incumbent Democrat to be re-elected. We lost our county executive, the county controller, the county legislature, and I won by over 8 points. So I was very proud of that victory.
So as you focus on your career as a prosecutor and then you subsequently talk about being pro-choice, being anti-death penalty, do you have also a history of advocacy on those issues, or specifically because your career has been so much heavy on the prosecution side, that has not been your focus?
Well, one of the things I'm most proud of when I was first elected in 2005 is I changed the policy as it relates to politics in the DA's office. Unlike my predecessor, I don't take money from people who work for me. I don't allow any political activity by anyone who works in the office. And I don't allow any politics to make any, have any effect on any of the decisions that I make. And that is why I have a reputation for being fair and balanced and not political in my in how justice is handled in Nassau County. It's incredibly important that people in DA's positions, in Attorney General's positions, run non-political offices, because you are dealing with, first of all, you're representing everyone as DA in your particular county, as Attorney General throughout the state, and it's important that people in that position do that without making decisions based on politics. So that's a record that I'm very proud of.
Well, to that end, though, now we're in this statewide campaign. It's a five-way race at the moment. It could actually expand. We're not actually sure. There are two other people who are looking at possibly getting into the race at least. Were you surprised by the outcome at the DRC straw poll in Niagara Falls this weekend? And there was some scuttlebutt there that Andrew Cuomo or people allied with Andrew Cuomo were helping you. Is that true? Are you aware of that?
Well, I was very happy with our showing at the Democratic Rural Conference. Remember, I'm the only person in this race who has a full-time job that I love. And so a lot of my campaigning is done on the weekends, and I don't get to travel. I didn't get to travel around the state in the upstate rural counties as much as all of my other opponents did. And so I'm particularly proud of being able to come in as well as we did. I believe that my record speaks for itself. I believe that my message was one that resonates with people all the way from Buffalo to Brookhaven. And it's a message of reform. It's a message of instituting the accountability and transparency that we need in our state government, so that people can again have the confidence that their government is working for them. And so these are the issues that I was talking about. I was one of only two candidates that came out with a rural plan, and it was my plan was incredibly comprehensive and realistic, and I believe that that was why I did so well there.
Actually, I actually think that there was more than just two candidates. I know for sure that Denalo had something. I'm pretty sure that there was discussion by other candidates as well about a platform. But in terms of leaving that aside for a second, Andrew Cuomo was there on Friday night. You mentioned in your speech that you spoke of him in your speech. You spoke of the importance of ticket balancing. It has been mentioned on numerous occasions that you're the only woman in the field right now. You come from the suburbs, which is going to be a battleground, that you might help balance the ticket. Has he spoken to you? Has he encouraged you? Did he help you at the DRC? Did anyone connected to him help you at all?
Well, I've had many conversations with the Attorney General about our work that we have done together. He as Attorney General and me as District Attorney. We've worked on really important issues like Medicaid fraud and illegal guns and internet sex predators. So we have a very good, strong relationship. We're very like-minded. We're both very reform-oriented. But you were there, Liz. I believe that the strength of my record is the reason why I did so well. And I really can't speak to what other people are saying. You know, sometimes in races like this, when some people don't do as well as they expected, they look for any reason to explain why they didn't do that well. And, you know, I stand by my record and how